Hello YouTube, this is Sibbles and Bits back at it again with another Arcanium run. We're going to just go ahead and hop right into this one. And down in the comments below, go ahead and after the first video, assuming we don't wipe by the end of the first video, write down what you feel about the composition and, well, I mean, anything involved in that, right? How do you feel about the current synergies we got going on? How do you feel about the team comp in general? How do you feel our odds are at the end of the first video of winning the run? Now, got quite a couple things going on here. First off, Moze with Arcane Anomaly is kind of difficult to actually, like, he's very card specific, so that's going to be very interesting. We finally got Lazaar, which is nice. And we have Bjorn with Final Cut, which is very survivable. I appreciate Death Blow a little bit more because it kills stuff very quickly, especially in the early game, but Final Cut is very safe, and we should be able to utilize that pretty easily. In fact, I think when we actually get into this, we're going to swap lanes with Bjorn and Lazaar so that Bjorn is in the middle. Because Final Cut is in an area, but it's melee, so it's pretty hard to use unless we somehow get Zora's long sight. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting team. Should be just fine, though. Got Lazaar, so hopefully it won't go terribly wrong. Now, where do we take this team? I can see us going to Anador. Uzir, not necessarily. Like, I honestly believe that we go to Anador, especially with Lazaar and team. There's just so many relics there that he wants. Otherwise, Scorched Lands, we could take Scorched Lands. Lazaar's starting deck is great. Moze-Bjorn-Laz's starting deck could use a little bit of work, but it works just fine. Otherwise, Bjorn's deck could use a little bit of defense. Even if we have Final Cut for his ultimate, he won't be able to use that till like 4 turns in the early game, so we really need something to tide him over. I think we'll go ahead and go in here. We got a Shrine off the bat. Please don't be green. Actually, green wouldn't be bad. If we get Leech Shrine, that'd be pretty freaking good. Reroll these. I'm fine with that. Okay. This is gonna help a lot. They're both pretty good. I would rather give Bjorn a block card. Now these here are okay. Inspire Knight being able to apply immune is very good. Especially because we don't have a light hero. That's actually our only source of immune besides artifacts that we can reliably get. This spell is actually incredibly strong here. In Anador, you got enemies who get toughness, enemies who get resilience, enemies who gain backlash. I'm thinking Arcane Bolt is the play. Void Tear is some great damage though. These are very good. Now I'm looking at Arcane Blast. Cards for any hero. This is either going to be Bjorn or Moze-Bjorn. Honestly, with Leech on the table, go Bjorn. Killing Machine, 1 toughness, 4 might. That's actually usable, but like not on us right now. We'd have to wait until we actually get more. Deal 8 damage, restore 4 health. We're not going to be... So, the problem with Bjorn is that... I'll explain this when we get into combat, actually. It'll be a lot easier to do that. Revenge isn't bad. Put that in there. Okay, so we want you to have that, and... we already put Revenge in there. Final Cut, do you want to be upgraded? Technically... we could technically fit Killing Machine in here. We're just never going to be able to use it for quite a while. We're afraid it's going to be a dead draw. Okay, so Bjorn's talent is whenever he loses health, he gains 1 rage. What it doesn't tell you here is that when he has 5 rage at the start of his turn, he's going to get a toughness, which is relatively good, except that you lost at least 5 health for it, so when you get the toughness, you need to at least have that block 5 or more health in order for it to be beneficial, which requires a lot of AI, like card manipulation shenanigans, or just knowing that an ult is coming up, right? So if I could get the get his toughness in 2 turns, then he would have it on the turn where this enemy's going to ult me, and that is likely going to be beneficial. He also has Reckless Blow, which used to be a common card, but now it is his personal card, and it is to deal 8 damage, which is an amazing rate, but lose 4 health. But that also gives him a rage. Rage decays at the start of the turn, though, assuming that you don't have 5. So it's very hard in the early game for Bjorn to actually get that ramping, like at all. So he runs into this issue where he doesn't have a passive in the early game, and he just deals damage to himself. You don't see it here, but he does have a card that life steals, which is where Killing Machine would come in handy if we had 4 AP, because it costs 2 AP. Otherwise, he's just got ridiculous red damage, he's got taunt, and he just wants to get hit. If you have a healer on team, it's very easy for him to get that rage and utilize it. Otherwise, you want somebody who can... You don't want a full block Bjorn. You want him to take like a little bit of damage to sustain his rage, and you just might see the toughness on the right turn during the early game. So his early game is honestly very shit, but he's an amazing engine in the late game, and he's probably one of the most busted heroes. As with most people who have a shitty early game, right? You have to carry them, but if they can make it to the end, they're almost always going to be like amazing. And this leech is just pretty much... This is gonna... One thing that I wanted to prove here, which I guess I'm going to have to do in a Lazaar guide, is that you don't have to be afraid of this hemorrhage. I haven't been able to explain Lazaar either. He's got this mechanic called hemorrhage, and basically it's like the opposite of Bjorn's rage, where he gets good cards, for example, 1 for 6 in his starting deck, but he gains hemorrhage. Whenever he hits 3 hemo, I'm going to refer to it from now on. Whenever his hemo gets to 3, it pops and he deals 8 damage to himself. Now, a lot of people see that and they're like, oh, okay, that's very deadly. I don't want to lose 8 health. That isn't worth it. It actually is. It's really not that scary. I did a lot of math, like a lot of math, going through all the permutations of all of his starter decks and what you could possibly run into. Assumed that I was always going to grab Hemo. I wasn't saving AP to swap lanes. If I had extra AP, it got used for more Hemo. The only time I lost more than 2 health over 3 turns is if you get dive, because then that means that the next 2 turns, or the 2 turns before that, or the turn before and after that, you are just going to lose 8 because you have 3 cards that give you Hemo. But even then, you're likely going to save health. The worst case scenario, you lose 8 health over 3 turns. In that scenario, where you get the dive, and then you pop Hemo 2 turns in a row. So, a lot of people are scared of like playing Hemo cards, so they'll like play 2 Hemo cards, wait for it to go down to 1, then they'll play 1 Hemo card and use these dives in order to position. Like, that's good, but you're not playing Lazaar at his best. If you're afraid of popping Hemo and losing 8 health in order to kill an elite 1 turn earlier, you're going to lose more health from that elite being alive for 1 or 2 turns than you are from just spending the life and killing the elite. And as I said, even in the early game, at this rate, this starting deck, it's basically free. It's actually more than free, because again, I was assuming always spend Hemo, have no regard for my own life, right? I don't know. Like, he's so insane. And the other thing is that I don't think that they really mentioned. Oh, here it is, Vampiric Embrace. For every AP he spends, he gains 1 health, and that's where a lot of that recovery comes back in. Anyways, let's go ahead and start bopping some fools. Save that AP for next turn. And the 1 leech on enemies is just going to make that even better. And one thing you may have noticed there too, we still lost 4 life, well 3 because it has 1 leech. Bjorn's cards is life loss. Cannot be blocked, cannot be mitigated. You're going to lose 4 life off of Reckless Blow. So as long as you're aware of that, you're on your way to understanding that there's not really much you can do about it. I'm not afraid to take damage with Lazaar here, but there's no reason for me to play Void Vessel. Bjorn's going to want to be here next turn, so we'll go ahead and we'll make that happen for him. Yeah, this looks spiced, but we're honestly quite fine. Here we go. Okay. So, on the Fang Strike, we reached 3 Hemo. We, of course, dealt Artifact Healing, which is Lazaar's passive. Dealt Direct Healing, which is due to the leech on the enemy. And then Lazaar dealt 6 void damage to the shield of Lazaar. Since Lazaar is dealing damage to himself, it's not life loss, then he's able to block it. He's able to mitigate it with resilience, toughness, and most importantly, it does proc on hit effects, so you do need to be aware of that. So it's another reason why you do not need to be afraid of Hemo. So long as you get some good relics going, or you've got specific cards, or you've got a specific support, you honestly don't even care. And that's just like the niche scenario. Everything that I said before still applies. For the most part, Hemo is very safe, so long as, I don't know, you take like a whole deck where every card has Hemo on it. At that point, yeah, you're probably going to blow yourself up, and you're going to want to use the things that I just mentioned, right? Make sure that you have a resilience engine, a toughness engine, something like that, in order to keep yourself sustained if you're going to put like full Hemo. But otherwise, don't worry about it. That elusive being there is actually pretty good for us too. Actually a pity that we never mind, I don't know what I was about to say there. Yeah. Yeah, that leech was probably the best find. Are you gonna deal more damage? Deal 8. You can deal like 12. What I'm gonna do. We're actually gonna BM here. I want to kill this elusive. And again, Lazaar has good sustain, even without this leech. Not worried about it, especially this 6 right here. One resilience for 1. Almost never take this card. It's not worth it. Again, you can argue, oh well, in a specific scenario, this could block for 6. Yeah, if that happens. Otherwise, like, common cards are supposed to block for 6. So, if it was 2, I could maybe see it. Which I believe it, yeah, it upgrades to 2. So that needs like a buff of 1 or something, in my opinion. Getting shields on Bjorn is going to be pretty good. I might honestly be okay with losing this health here, due to the fact that we have that leech up there. So I think I take this. And currently, we were rocking Killing Machine in order to get our 12th card for the upgraded final cut, but I'm going to do that now. I legitimately think that we can take this defensive lead battle. But let's get this this first. One might at the start of each turn. I actually think that's going to be pretty good. Otherwise, draw one card the first time you play a ranged card. Really haven't run into troubles with draw, and we don't really have a lot of range cards. The range cards would be on Moze-Bjorn-Laz. And he's currently generally spending all of his AP in a turn. There it is. Right there. Okay. Now that's fine. We're, Party restores H health. Yeah, we'll take that. Might as well. Hit this assault battle. Good old Brood Sentinel. So don't give no guff. This is a bit, yikes though. Whatever. Oh, we didn't equip his might. Eh. Alright. Spread that damage. If I use this, it's just going to pretty much make him take 2 damage. Well, it gives me the AP though. No, we want that next turn because we're probably going to draw 2 dashes. Nope. Okay. Okay. Do this. Probably misplayed that. Could have saved this 29 damage, but it's not like it matters that much. That's unfortunate, but we'll be able to get that Holy Joust now. Which is gonna be huge. Trust me. I probably could have squeezed another 2 health out of there. Block Moze-Bjorn. Maybe. Star being able to shield in an area might be pretty good. I feel like if I don't take Shield Bash, I'm gonna regret it. So we'll just take it and sit on it. And we're gonna take this. Make sure to equip it to Lazaar. Now I'm about to show you guys one of the most disgusting common items that you've ever seen. Maybe. So we probably want this shard battle here. Look at that. That'd be 8. That'd be 9. Well, YouTube, wish me luck. That was probably hopefully unnecessary too. The minor debuffs means that we can't actually get the leech on them. That should still be fine. For an oracle? Problem is the 50% extra damage. Oh, should have had Bjorn over here. Suppose what we could do is do this and that. Poison's going to get very annoying. Wait, is it? Oh, because you have toughness, that's why. Getting ready for a push next turn. We could honestly die here. Highly unlikely, but possible. Oh, you're rooted. He's dead. Can't believe I didn't watch that. I just freaking killed him. I also could have blocked here. So, we're in a dicey situation now. A huge old misplay alert. But we're fine. The weak is actually a little annoying. We are barely fine. That was a little close. I made 2 big mistakes and lost 2 people. Goes to show you. Use your brain. Okay. Oh my good lord. I get to talk about every single one of these. So, as you can see there, we are in an area where lots of poison gets stacked, and Lazaar has no means of cleansing because he is neither yellow or green. Technically, there's one red common, Cauterize, which gives shield and cleanses on combo. That's one common. Otherwise, red-purple does not really get access to this. Purple does get one, I think it's even a legendary, that will take all your debuffs and put them on the enemy. But that's now a legendary. You're definitely not going to see that, or you can't gamble on that. Crimson Talisman is absolutely insane because, as I said before, you don't need to be afraid of Hemo. Especially if popping Hemo is going to cleanse you. You can shed a lot of bullshit off of you and save a lot more health than you would have lost if you would have just kept poison on you. Of course, people who play organized and just pick like healers all the time, they'll tell you that this is actually pretty garbage because your healer is supposed to cleanse. Unless you take their ultimate that cleanses, you still can't guarantee a cleanse in this game. So having the ability to cleanse on command on a red-purple hero is absolutely amazing. 1 might per hemorrhage you gain. Again, you don't have to be afraid of Hemo, and this is basically half of Lady's passive, right? If you start getting it set up, it's basically half of Lady's passive, because Lady can easily just make a deck full of red cards and be okay, except for, like blocking. But Lazaar, unless you're really set up, can't really get away with just like stacking a whole bunch of Hemo. And then you gotta find all the cards and all that. But otherwise, this is still Might for free, and especially when you have his Lifesteal card, You start getting his AoEs, his multi-strikes. This adds up in a turn, especially if you're getting multiple hemo per card, which there are cards that give you like 2 to 3 hemo. Then you're pretty much just playing Lady. Blood Chalice is probably his worst out of the 3 for me. I could see you arguing that Nightbringer is worse than Blood Chalice, but Blood Chalice, again, like 2 of his best cards. Let me see if I can actually bring these up. Look at your character abilities. There we go. 2 of his best cards, which would be Ignore Pain and Ravage. They're both retains that gain more. They're per hemo, right? Deal 8 damage per hemo. Apply 5 shield and an extra 5 shield per hemo. Ignore Torpor, it doesn't exist. Deal 8 damage and restore 8 health per hemo you have. So he has quite a lot of cards that are reliant on you having a certain amount of hemo on you. You even have Hemokinesis, which is whatever. But Macabre Dance, heal 1 per. Like, all of his ults basically also rely on hemo. But his 2 best cards, of course, being, going back, Ignore Pain and Ravage. These are like bread and butter Lazaar. And you would think that by doubling your cap, because if you go to 3, you're going to pop and take damage, so technically these can use 2 hemo. If you bring your cap up to 5, now these can use 4 hemo, so they're twice as effective. That's technically true, but when you look at the effects that his other ones give, right? Might and Cleanse on pop. Let's say that you have 5 cards, 5 AP. And your goal is that you are going to get up to 4 hemo and then spend all these cards. Okay, so you have Ignore Pain and you have Ravage in hand. Maybe you have one that gives you 2 hemo. The multi-strike one. So you go from 0 to 2 and then use maybe 2 Fang Strikes to bring yourself up to 4, and then you spend these. That's a very powerful turn. But now you gotta wait to draw both your Ravages and your Ignore Pains and get up to 4 before you can utilize these cards again. In the meantime, you don't want to pop your hemo because now you've lost your engine and your tempo. And so you're running into a situation where you're not playing his best cards because you want to pay out in every 3 turns. That, it honestly doesn't make sense. You might as well be playing neutral cards at that point. Like, your heirloom is supposed to make you better. However, it is what I would call run specific. Sometimes you have your 1 or 2 Ravages and it's just not cutting it for you, right? Although Nightbringer would give you about the same. Not the same, but you would not have to worry, get the hemo, and then you would have like 3 might, which would bring it up to 8 per hemo on 2, as opposed to, 11 per hemo on 2, which is 22, as opposed to 5 times 4. If you're considering damage, Nightbringer can be easily better than Blood Chalice, and you don't have to do the whole fiddling of making sure that you don't pop hemo. Anyways, hopefully that made a whole bunch of sense. Probably didn't, because usually when I ramble it doesn't. Hopefully when I make the Lazaar guide, I'm able to actually write out a script and have it be cohesive. I'm not really impressed by Blood Chalice. I think that it definitely needed the buff, and now I'll actually consider it. But back when it was 4, it was not worth it for me. But as I stated before, in the area that we're in, we're going to get lots of poison set on us, and it's actually going to add up to a lot of damage. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Crimson Talisman, because we got good damage on our team, right? We have Bjorn, so we don't need Lazaar to be that guy. Overhead Smash is absolutely ridiculous, especially pre-upgraded. Good lord. Arcane Barrier is tempting. 5 Resilience for 2 is starting to get there, right? I was mentioning before that 2 for 6 is what a block card is supposed to do. If we use 5 AP or 2 AP or 2 Overload for 5 Resilience here, it really only has to block 1 hit, and then it's like good enough. If it blocks multiple hits, then it's amazing. But I think that we go ahead for the Overhead Smash. Bully is pretty much unplayable. Frostbolt for slow could be very good, but we were just talking about how Ignore Pain is bread and butter Lazaar, and there it is. And even now, I still don't think that I would prefer to have the Goblet. For the record, right? If I was to go backwards, have Ignore Pain, would have looked at Crimson Goblet. No, I wouldn't have done it. Or the Blood Chalice, I believe it's called. I don't even know its name. Lazaar has Spirit. He doesn't need AP. Anybody needs AP, it's probably either Moze-Bjorn or Bjorn. I'm gonna give it to Bjorn. Door 10 health all my heroes, please. And do we have anything that we need upgraded? Ignore Pain is already upgraded. 2. Go up to 7. Have the extra AP. Maybe that's it. We take Killing Machine. I don't think we need Rugged Ice Walker anymore. Probably get rid of 1 Pommel Strike. There we go. You could upgrade Shield Bash, actually. I want to believe in Funky Shield Moze-Bjorn. This is how all my runs die. Otherwise, I don't think... Definitely don't upgrade any starter cards. Okay, it's either Killing Machine or it's Shield Bash. Killing Machine would be pretty lit, but Shield Bash is literally free. We'll get Killing Machine later, I promise. Immune is great. You take that. Gonna seem a little weird. Lazaar. Oh, we don't have money for a spot heal. This could theoretically heal. Nope. I'm in an impasse. I want that shrine. What we do is we take a couple card piles, then we take that shrine. Archive's good for us. So is Netherstorm. So his ultimate currently wants him to have locked overload. But we really don't have access to locked overload. And now we do. Get rid of these. These arcane volleys are technically better, but give me Void Tear. Counterspell's also good. Take this loot case, that's going to be an item. 4/4 minion. 2 holy chalices? Double cup. Is it really going to let me equip 2? Oh, because it's cloth shoulders, not holy chalice. I'm a fool. Holy chalice should probably go on Bjorn. We're just going to spend a lot of time setting up, I guess. I would rather have the Oracle. Yeah, that got set out. But if we get that, then we'll get a campfire. So, we're talking about how we really should break killing machines. Let's do it. We do have that in deck, right? Yes. Okay. Okay. Not really concerned here. Help you out. Doesn't this technically... Want to risk it? Let's go. Okay. Oh man, I swear, if I make a shield Moze work, that's the thumbnail for real. This is a little awkward, honestly. That's what we want to see. Flaw locked overload. We're Gucci. Oh, because he's purple. I am a fool. Alright. To find better draw on this man. Also need to find a way to heal Moze-Bjorn. Blood Pact is pretty good. This is not worth it. Unless it's upgraded, maybe. Thinking it's Blood Pact, because if you can apply Might, it's much better than if you're using that person's turn to use Might. And he doesn't care about having Vulnerable, because life loss is life loss. And also use this on a turn where somebody's already pretty good for blocking. Moze needs to heal. Otherwise I would have probably healed all. Give any item. It's not really good for us. Okay. Hunting rifle would be pretty good on Moze, because once he gets his archive going, we're never going to run out of overload. Yeah, I think we can do that. Anyways, make sure that everything else is mopped up here. There. Well, alright. That's about 1 hour, with 20 minutes of me explaining how Lazaar works. Poorly, probably. down in the comments below. Be sure to, if you want to, leave a comment about how you feel the run is going, how you feel about the team. Leave any questions, comments, concerns, misplay alerts down there as well. And until next time, I'll catch you guys around.